Hey everyone, welcome to the BlueView. We are here today. I'm so excited to be joining you from Mutual Riverfront Park. We're about to head out on a kayak and explore the Buffalo River and the Buffalo Blueway. My name is Claudia Rosen. I work for Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Buffalo Blueway and also about water safety. So there's some important things that we need to keep in mind before we head out on a kayak or a canoe when we're exploring the Buffalo River or the Buffalo Blueway. So the number one important thing that we need when we're out on the water in terms of water safety is this thing that I'm wearing right here, this PFD or life vest. This is the number one thing that you need when you're out on the water. Unfortunately, even if you're a good swimmer, things do happen, unexpected things. So you should always wear your PFD no matter what. Make sure that your PFD is fitted properly, tightened and zipped up all the way so that you can be as safe as possible when you're out on the river. So we've got that, check. Another important thing that you need when you're out on the Buffalo Blueway is you need to make sure that you know the rules of the road, quote unquote, because we know this isn't a road, it's a river, but there are some rules that you need to follow. Number one, we're staring at this beautiful grain elevator that we have in front of us. That's such a symbol of Buffalo's industrial past. But we know is that industrial past is not all in the past. There is still industry that happens here on the Buffalo Blueway. So there still are big ships that come through, larger boats. And unfortunately, you can take a look at my tiny kayak and imagine a huge shipping boat and imagine which one would win. So you want to stay away from those larger boats. When you're out on the waterway, you want to make sure you stay to the side of the river or the channel. If you do have to cross, you want to make sure you cross as quickly as possible and also at a right angle so that you're not hanging out in the middle of a channel for any length of time. You also always want to defer to the larger boats. So when I'm out there today, if I see a larger boat, I'm going to make sure that I defer to them. There's a chance that they might not see me because my boat is so much smaller. So for the most part, we're just going to stay out of their way. Also with me, you can probably see in my kayak, I've got a first aid kit, a bottle of water. I've also told people where I'm going. So that's what we call a float plan. We make sure that we tell someone where we're going, what time we expect to be back, and what to do if we don't come back. So that's just a general rule of safety when you're out on the water. So to get out of other folks' way, again, to be courteous here at our roller dock at Mutual Riverfront Park, I'm gonna head out and I'm gonna talk to you a little bit more from the water. So here I am getting into the boat, the kayak. It's a little slippery, so make sure you're being careful. There's these railings to hang on to. I'm just gonna hop in my boat here. Got my paddle with me. Whoop. And we're gonna head out. Bye. I'll see you out there. So here we go. There's this little boom here, and we're just gonna take our boat right through it. As our filming crew is probably heading up the roller dock there, you might notice some of the other really cool features at Mutual Riverfront Park. So this is a great park because it's got that nice roller launch, which I just launched from out onto the river. It's really accessible and easy to use. So just making sure that you're careful to get slippery. Launch that makes it quite easy to launch your kayak. You'll also notice that this is a pretty busy park. There's lots of people slowing down kayaking today, which is really cool to see. I was just talking about some of the other awesome features of Mutual Riverfront Park. There you are. Can you hear me okay? Cool. So we're here, we're on the Buffalo River. I'm so excited to be doing this right now. This is so much fun. So yeah, we launched, we're out on the water. I've got my paddle with me. I'm wearing my PFD, so we're as safe as we can be. And again, like I mentioned before, one of the most important things you can do when you're paddling on the Buffalo River is making sure that you're staying to the side of the river channel. So here I am, I'm close to the side, close to the shoreline, and that's going to make sure that I'm away from the larger boats that are really going to be unsafe to be near. Behind me, we've got one of our wonderful grain elevators. So this area by Mutual Riverfront Park is also known as Elevator Alley. So it's got a really interesting history, and it's a big important part of our city, the Buffalo's past, and the Buffalo River's past. We know that this river went through a lot in the beginning of the last century in terms of the industry that was here. It experienced a really big boom, but also some things that weren't so great for the water quality. So as you can see from all the people that are out here today, it's come a long way, and it's really exciting to see this many people out enjoying the Buffalo Blueway. We've also got some wildlife here on the river that we're able to enjoy when we're in our kayak. We've got some geese. We saw some herons before, a really nice great blue heron that was actually just hanging out on the roller dock. So that's another great thing that you can do when you're out here on the Buffalo Blueway. Yeah, so appreciating the history, appreciating the wildlife. And I think with that, we are gonna bring it right over to Jill Jedlecka, who is our Executive Director at Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper. We're really excited to have her here today to talk a little bit about some of the other amazing recreational opportunities that are out there on the Buffalo River. It's not just kayaking like I'm doing today. There's lots of other things that you can do when you're visiting the Buffalo Blueway. So I'm gonna throw it over to her and she can talk a little bit about that. Thanks. I'm gonna go out and kayak now.
All right, do we have power and sound? No, not yet. All right, we got power and sound. All right, we passed the first test. That's awesome. Well, hi everybody, and again, picking up from where Claudia left off. Bye, Claudia. Be careful. Have fun. What a night of perfection here on the Buffalo River. You couldn't have scripted a better summer evening here in Western New York and along the Buffalo Blueway. And we're thrilled to be able to, over these last few weeks, take you personally on these personal guided tours of all of these amazing Blueway sites that we're starting to construct and enhance and make people aware of. But it's important to note that the Buffalo Blueway is not just for paddlers. Not everybody out there wants to be in a kayak or a canoe or a paddleboard or a bike boat or whatever there's out there. There's so much else that you can do along our waterfront, so there's a little bit for everybody. And we really refer to this as having just regional water access. How can we get everybody down to the water who wants to be here? And you couldn't have pictured a better evening than you can see all of this activity right now along the shoreline here. This is one of the quiet hot spots of fishing here on the Buffalo River. We have a whole bunch of anglers here who are fishing, throwing a line in, and if you recall from some of our previous conversations, 30 to 40 years ago, you couldn't even find a single fish species that was alive in this river. But because of the restoration work that Waterkeeper and our partners and our agencies and the private sector, we all rally behind restoring and reclaiming these waterways for fish and wildlife, for our own health, and for the things that you're seeing right now, this quality of life, recreation opportunities, building up our blue economy. So with the Buffalo Blueway, as we've been talking about in recent weeks, all these access points, it's also important to note that all of these access points are envisioned to be connected, not only how you can get in the water and out of the water, but how do you establish places and links between these locations. So just coming down the foot of down to the end of Hamburg Street, say you want to put in your canoe or your kayak and paddle along here, and you want to take a break and you want to get out of the water. Well, what do you do? Where do you go? Well, hidden in some of these areas are some really cool places to eat and grab a drink, but no drinking and boating. We verify that. Just here on Hamburg Street alone, you can go to this awesome restaurant. It's an icon here in South Buffalo, known as Gene McCarthy's. Past Gene McCarthy's, you got Lakeward, and then you Lakeward Spirits, and you also have Elevator Alley Kayak, where you could rent a kayak if you don't have one. Further up Hamburg Street, at the corner of South Park and Hamburg, you've got this really cool new coffee place called the Undergrounds. You can grab something there. So this whole region is really thriving with smaller business. These are people that live within the community and who have invested in building businesses here along the Blueway. So any way that our regional water access and the Blueway investments that we can do that help support our local community, all the better. So let's walk a little bit over here and we'll see a little bit more. Maybe we'll actually talk to some of these folks and find out what they're catching. So we see a lot of fisherman activity. We see a lot of boating, and along here is probably one of the best spots to put a kayak in here, and it's called Elevator Alley. And if you've ever been on a boat, whether it's a power boat or a paddle boat, just to be next to these behemoths, you can start to see the scale of the size of these massive grain elevators. And we were hoping that we would start to see one of the lake freighters coming around the bend. We heard that the Manitoulin is actually, it's a 650 plus foot lake freighter that comes in every few weeks and docks along here, what's known as the ADM elevator. So Gene's going to be keeping a lookout to see if it actually comes into view before we're off air, and we can talk about it. So in summary, with the Blueway, it's not, again, just about paddling. If you want to fish, if you want to watch a sunset, if you want to come down and watch a regatta that's going on, a lot of times there will be races with the competitive, sorry guys, I don't want to get caught with a hook. If you want to throw a line in, if you want to fish, if you just want to sit and people watch, there's always something to do for everybody on the Blueway. And right here, I'll show this real quick. This kind of starts to give you an idea of what we're talking about, the connectivity. So these maps aren't out there yet, but this is another thing that Waterkeeper is working on to get out there into the community. So right here is a Blueway spot, and this is known as Mutual Riverfront Park. And you can see this is Ohio Street, where we were a few weeks ago. Farther upstream here is Red Jacket, and a little bit farther up here, actually off the screen here, is where Seneca Bluffs is. And you start to see how this water trail system is coming together. Also, we can't forget about Riverworks down here as well. So you see all these spots into and out of the water, but now we're also working with many partners in the transportation corridors, and with folks like the Land Conservancy working on the river line, in Erie Canal Harbor Development Corporation, the Outer Harbor. How do we start to tie that all together? So you don't just have to have a car or a vehicle and pull up to a spot, get in, get out, and then you're gone. We want people to be able to experience these neighborhoods, experience the world around them. Sometime soon, with the Buffalo River Greenway vision, is to implement how can you connect the green to the blue. If you want to take your bike down and you want to bike from the east side and come on down here, we all know that, and we've all heard that in Buffalo was one of the best designed cities because we have this radial pattern of roadways that bring us towards downtown. But did you also know that most, if not all, of our roads lead to the water? So that's an important backbone to build upon and to figure out how we can have everybody in the community who wants access to the water can have access to the water. If you have any thoughts or ideas of how to help us make that vision a reality, some thoughts you have in your neighborhood or how to make access better, send us a note, throw us a line. You can email us at info@buffaloblueway.com. You can also call the Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper offices at 852-7483. We want to hear from you because this community belongs to all of us, and we want members of the community to be able to kind of weigh in and provide feedback and input into how we can make and restore this community even better. So, okay, so I think the Manitoulin is coming around the bend, so I will stop jabbering on right now, and I will just let Sarah and Jean and I will just kind of walk down here and we'll take a peek. Mm-hmm. Hello. You guys catching anything?
No, I just started.
Oh, not today? What do you usually catch when you're down here?
You catch catfish and I don't know what them other swamp fish you call it. I don't catch some crabs too.
Oh, okay.
Crabs, catfish, like some fish.
Okay. Have you noticed that has the fishing gotten better over the years here?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
I say so. I don't fish, I just hang out, but I know a lot of people, man. On good days, we'll either catch what they call a buzz or they'll catch big fish.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, have fun.
Yep, God bless you.
You too.
Stay safe.
Oh, and there she is. Okay, you can see it. Barely. And there goes Claudia chasing it down. Careful, Claudia. So you can start to get a peek through Elevator Alley here, and where you see the Manitoulin coming in, it's actually underneath, right now it's underneath the Ohio Street lift bridge. That metal that metal bridge way up in there, that's an actual lift bridge that's been elevated to let the ship through. Okay, we got a better view down here, so we'll wrap things up with an amazing view down Elevator Alley. So along the Blueway, you never know what you're going to see on any given night. Oh, yes. And you can see the tugboat that's guiding it through that area, through the navigation channel. And this is one of the reasons why the Buffalo River is maintained as a commercial navigation channel. It's dredged to over 23 feet down in the center of the river to accommodate commerce and these lake freighters, which these are behemoth vessels that come in to our ports. And I think if we go up to the rail crossing right here, you might be able to have one last good view. And it's a hopping night here with folks coming in trying to vie for parking, which we are trying to improve access at all of the Blueway sites. And you can see some other folks down here just watching the freighters come in. Look at the size of that. It blows your mind that that actually floats in the water and that captain can navigate such a narrow channel.
I thought those were the buildings.
No. Nope, that's the vessel.
And it's gonna come.
Yeah, it'll keep coming toward us, and those kayakers, hopefully they get out of the way and they're backing off. Because again, a kayak and a lake freighter, you know who's going to win that battle. So you know the rules of the road when you put in the water. Kayaks need to yield to these large vessels. But the ADM elevator is the one to our camera right. You see the two old, I think they're called marine legs, and back in the day those used to slide along tracks. And you've got these arms that come down and can pull in and pull out the grain, and then you would have the scoopers who are in the hulls of the ships that would help pull that out. This is really, this industry, the transshipment and shipment of grain, is really what put Buffalo on the map, and particularly the Buffalo River. So you got a lot of people here also lined up on the street who are just watching the freighter come in. So if you're hanging around and nothing to do, come on down. Look how that tugboat is maneuvering. And that's why sometimes if you look at the map of the Buffalo River, you see lots of these weird right-hand turns and angles, and the river so curvy. it was intentionally dredged that way because it created turning basins for these vessels. So these vessels were pulled in, and then in order to kind of get back out, they have the turning basins where they could literally turn around and head back out. But those tugboat operators are amazing as well. That's a lot of skill. So on that perfect note, again, we couldn't have scripted it better. A gorgeous, perfect night here in downtown Buffalo along our waterfront. We continue to work with all of our partners on improving regional water access all throughout the region. The Buffalo Blueway and the Buffalo River segment here is just the start. Working to improve all access to all of our waterways for everybody within the community. So the best thing that you can do to be a good steward of our waterways is to get out, recreate, come out and see and love our waterways. Help us out to keep eyes on the water and enjoy amazing sights like this tonight. So thank you all for your interest and support. Send us a line if you want to know more or if you have some other ideas. And enjoy the season on the water.